Like any other culture in the world, the pondering culture has its own mythology which has grown and matured over the years. However, just because our ancestors always thought it was true doesn't necessarily make it true. Here, 20 old wives' tales are examined and the facts set straight once and for all. Myth 1. Predators will eat your fish. Fortunately, most fish will swim to a deeper, more protected part of the pond when a predator is threatening them. The one predator with legitimate credentials is the blue heron. These tall, long-legged, big-beaked birds can easily wade into your pond, help themselves, and fly away with their bellies full. Giving your fish a place to hide dramatically helps their odds of survival. The possibility of pond predators seeking out your pond is indeed a valid concern, but the possibility shouldn't be a reason to avoid building a pond. Myth 2. The presence of rocks and gravel make it difficult to clean your pond. Rocks and gravel offer a natural habitat for aerobic bacteria to colonize. This bacteria breaks down the fish waste and debris that would otherwise accumulate in the pond and turn into sludge. So contrary to the myth, having rocks and gravel on the bottom of your pond actually allows Mother Nature to clean up after herself. Myth 3. UV lights are the best way to keep your pond water clear. The fact of the matter is that if you have a pond that's naturally balanced, the way Mother Nature intended, you don't need a UV light at all. In this naturalistic setting, the fish eat the plants, which then produce waste that gets broken down by aerobic bacteria. The converted waste is then taken up as nutrition by the plants, continuing the cycle. A naturally balanced pond is a low-maintenance pond because Mother Nature is doing the work for you. Myth 4. Your pond must be at least 3 feet deep in order to keep koi. A common myth is that ponds must be built at least 3 feet deep, especially if they contain koi and are located in a colder climate. Actually, the water in a 2-foot deep pond will only freeze 8 inches down even in the coldest of climates because of the insulating qualities of the earth that surround the pond. Therefore, a 2-foot depth is perfect for the average water garden. Myth 5. Koi can't be kept in a pond that contains plants. In nature, fish feed on plants, and plants feed on fish. Waste, that is. It's part of the circle of life, and to imply that koi and plants shouldn't coexist is to ignore nature. In a naturally balanced pond, proportionality is always a key ingredient to success. Myth 6. You have to bring your fish inside for the winter. Fish do fine during the coldest of winters as long as you give them 2 feet of water to swim in, a source of oxygen, and a hole in the ice for gas exchange. The fish will spend the entire winter hibernating at the bottom of the pond and will slowly wake up as the water warms in the spring. Myth 7. Your pond water must be tested on a daily basis. This myth comes from the aquarium industry, and it has a lot to do with the fact that an aquarium is a much smaller body of water, which makes it more difficult to balance. Mother Nature never tests her water, and her ecosystem does just fine. A well-conceived, naturally balanced water garden normally requires no testing either. Myth 8. A pond in your backyard means you will have a lot of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes will generally only lay their eggs in still, stagnant water. If mosquitoes happen to lay eggs in your pond and the larvae hatch, the fish in your pond will consider them a treat and pick them off the water's surface with great enthusiasm. Your skimmer will sweep up whatever the fish miss. Myth 9. You cannot have a pond in an area where there are a lot of trees. Yes, you will have more leaves in your pond in the fall, but by the same token, the shade provided by the trees will help minimize the algae bloom in the summer. Furthermore, a properly built water garden will include a mechanical skimmer filter, which will pull most of the leaves and related debris from the surface of the pond. Myth 10. You can't have koi in a pond that also has rocks and gravel. Koi are actually just a fancy variety of carp, and all carp are bottom feeders. They love to swim along the bottom and scavenge everything that is available on and in between the rocks. In nature, it's not uncommon to find ponds, lakes, or rivers with rocks on the bottom. Myth 11. It's okay to use chemicals in your pond. Products like algicides are commonly used as quick-fix solutions to balance-related problems. In the end, your best bet is to attack the root cause of the problem and make sure that you have a naturally balanced pond that allows Mother Nature to take care of all the maintenance issues. Myth 12. Having a pond may decrease the value of your home. Ponds can be a great addition to your home and can often increase its overall value. With water features becoming more and more popular, You can bet that there will be a demand for homes with such specialty landscaping. Myth 13. Ponds are a liability and safety concern. It's important to remember that a professionally installed water garden is constructed with shelves, unlike a swimming pool. We do recommend that you make your neighbors aware of the water garden and educate your own children and friends about the safety concerns of any body of water. Myth 14. The best place for a pond is the low part of a yard. This is probably the worst location because of the runoff rainwater that can creep its way into your pond. Poor water quality is often the result. More importantly, ponds built closer to the home provide enjoyment from both inside and out. Myth 15. You can use a timer on your pond. This is not true. Your pond is a living, breathing ecosystem that needs constant oxygen, which is produced by the running water. If you shut your system down at night, the lack of oxygen can harm both your beneficial bacteria and fish. Myth 16. It's necessary to drain and clean your pond regularly. If you decide to work in harmony with Mother Nature and have a system with mechanical and biological filtration, then draining and cleaning your pond should take place only once a year. Annual cleanouts are usually performed in the spring, before the weather gets warm and the bacteria have an opportunity to set up. Myth 17. Bottom drains work best if you have koi. The problem with bottom drains is that they have a tendency to promote leaks, and since a bottom drain is installed at the deepest point of your pond, a serious leak could drain the entire thing. In addition, waste that falls to the bottom of the pond is broken down by beneficial bacteria in the gravel. Therefore, a bottom drain is unnecessary. Myth 18. The more filtration, the better the pond. Believe it or not, you can overfilter a pond. If you can see the bottom of your pond and your fish are regularly active, then your water quality is most likely fine. Filtering past that is overkill and will create headaches, not eliminate them. Myth 19. You can't be a koi hobbyist and a water gardener. This is not true. You can raise koi and have a beautiful water garden. There are koi hobbyists who have a perfectly balanced pond ecosystem with no chemicals, no sterilization, and a nice assortment of plants. The koi can grow up to be just as beautiful and just as healthy as they are in traditional koi ponds, and you'll love them just as much. Myth 20. High tech is the solution to controlling Mother Nature. Instead of trying to control your pond with chemicals and complicated filtration systems, work with Mother Nature. More than anything else, being observant and learning from Mother Nature is what it takes to be a water gardener. Let the aquascape ecosystem show you the way.